This is Valley View News, and here are today's headlines. Asians are not being represented right in the media. NASA is using virtual reality to show the effects of global warming. The Breezy Foundation is improving the lives of youth in the LA community.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Maybelline Capelou.
And I'm Jose Duran.
Notorious cult leader Charles Manson died of natural causes Sunday. Manson was 83. He served 9 life terms in a California prison and was denied bail 12 times. His killing started in 1969 at the home of actress Sharon Tate. Tate and 4 others were murdered. The next night, another set of murders occurred. Manson organized the killings but didn't take part in them. Sharon Tate's sister, Deborah Tate, says she's praying for his soul. Manson got the death penalty, but death sentences were later abolished by the state.
A toddler was returned after allegedly being abducted and taken to Mexico last Sunday. An Amber Alert was issued for the 15-month-old boy early last week. Officials suspected the boy was taken by his father, Carlos Lara, after he was told by a family services judge the state would take custody of the child. When DCFS officials arrived at Lara's Boyle Heights home, he and his son were gone. Later, the LAPD said the boy's uncle was told to take him to the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol office. He was returned there unharmed. The child remains under DCFS care. The father, Lara, is believed to still be in Mexico.
A local elementary school received a coveted academic award. Valley View News reporter Brittni Perez has the story.
Congratulations, Vintage National Blue Ribbon Honors. Round of applause.
Parents and staff joined students at Vintage Math Science Technology Magnet as they celebrated winning the National Blue Ribbon Award for 2017. Principal Nancy Moreau remembers the exact moment she heard the good news.
When we received the award, I just broke down in tears because it was such a joy, but yet it was so much hard work.
Okay, come on, do it.
Even the youngest kids focus on science, tech, and math. That's what sets the school apart. The students even have their own newsroom, equipped with a green screen and a makeshift teleprompter to film and record the weather and morning announcements. Debbie Stone, the IT support assistant, has been running the storm weather program for about 8 years.
They're dedicated and they make sure things get done, and then they're always rewarded. If everything's done, then you can have a little free time on the computer.
Vintage is a school-wide magnet that draws its students from diverse cultural backgrounds. The award symbolizes the school's progress in closing the achievement gap. Students, staff, and parents were proud to be among the 342 schools nationwide recognized this year. All the students and staff were extremely excited to have won this award today. They can definitely attest to how hard they worked this past year. In North Hills, I'm Brittni Perez for Valley View News.
The 2 boys killed after being hit by a sheriff's SUV were identified as 7-year-old Jose Luis Hernandez and 9-year-old brother Marcos Hernandez. At the time, the sheriff's car was responding to a call about a shooting. It crashed into another car, sending it onto the sidewalk, hitting the 2 boys and their mother. One child died at the scene. The other died on the way to the hospital. Their mother remains hospitalized in critical condition. The 2 deputies involved were also hospitalized with minor injuries. One witness told KTLA-5 the sheriff's SUV didn't appear to have its lights or sirens on.
The scandal surrounding reports of sexual assault in Hollywood isn't going away. The LAPD is investigating more than 20 possible sex crimes involving people in the entertainment industry, according to ABC7. They also have 28 other reports of alleged sexual assaults that happened outside of their jurisdiction. Police referred the cases to proper agencies. Los Angeles County formed a new sexual assault task force in response to these recent allegations. They'll handle any charges that result from the investigations.
Some of Trader Joe's pre-packaged poultry salads could contain plastic or glass, the grocer says. The grocer is recalling the white meat chicken, curried white chicken deli, and the turkey cranberry apple salads sold in California and 9 other states. Trader Joe says the salads recalled are dated November 10th through November 21st. The affected salads have the USDA inspection code P40299.
Cal State Northridge students considering studying abroad have a few options available to them, as Valley View reporter Brandon Ashford reports.
CSUN is a university that provides many opportunities for its students. With so many resources, students may overlook the opportunities available for them through the Cal State University International Program. Eleanor Walgast is the National Student Exchange Advisor at CSUN and wants students to know that programs are more affordable than they think.
That's one of the main stereotypes that we try to kind of eradicate. So
The CSUN programs are really beneficial for students because they're paying CSUN tuition, and if they receive financial aid, that continues with them while they're on exchange.
The CSUIP is a system-wide study abroad program available for all Cal State University students and have programs operating in 15 countries around the world. Studying abroad can enhance a student's education, build their resume, and teach them to understand another culture. Students who have participated in the program say the experience is like no other.
This last year in Ireland, and it was the absolute best year of my life. If I had some advice or suggestions, I would absolutely say that every student should study abroad. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
When choosing an exchange program, students should be aware of recent terrorist attacks in foreign countries. Students looking for more information can visit www.csun.edu/international. In Northridge for Valley View News, I'm Brandon Ashford.
And now to Malcolm Finney with the latest in social media news.
Thank you, Maybelline. Tesla is entering the semi-truck industry. Last week, CEO Elon Musk unveiled the first of its kind electric semi. It's nicknamed the Beast. It travels 400 miles on a 30-minute charge. It also can pull 80,000 pounds going 65 miles per hour. The truck has a reinforced windshield to prevent the frequent cracks, which often lead to windshield replacements. Musk gave almost every detail about the truck, except for the price. Tesla also revealed a new version of its Roadster sports car. The new Roadster can go from 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. That would make it the fastest accelerating production car ever. Tired of waiting on cashiers to get through the checkout line? Amazon is working on a store with no cashiers. The company is almost done with testing. In stores, customers will scan their smartphones upon entry. After that, cameras, shelf sensors, and algorithms will show what items the customers picked up. Amazon says it still has some kinks to work out. For now, the technology has problems handling large groups of people, charging them the right prices. Uber is improving its pickup process. A lot of customers complain that it's hard to get picked up in crowded areas. To address the problem, Uber is adding new features like live location sharing and new windshield colors. The new location sharing lets you turn it on and off due to privacy concerns. Uber used to have a similar tool that allowed the company to track customers' locations. It ended that feature after it realized the company could track you even after being dropped off. The new windshield feature lets you identify your driver by choosing a color to appear in the windshield. That color will glow in the driver's windshield as they approach the rider. Uber hopes these new features can bring some customers back. The new features are already in New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. Apparently, man's best friend is also extending your life. A new Swedish study shows that owning a dog helps reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and death. The study shows that people living alone with a dog can reduce their risk of death by 33%. They lowered their risk of fatal heart attacks by 36%. Even in multi-person households, owning a dog lowered the risk of death by 11%. Another finding showed that knowing a dog was around to protect owners helps minimize their health risk. NASA scientists have teamed up with the virtual reality company Emblematic Group to deliver an experience that will educate people on global warming. Valley View reporter Shelby Charlene has more on the story.
Scientists say global warming will result in sea level rise. Some California researchers are trying to understand what's happening here by studying the climate in Greenland.
The ice caps that surround the coastline of Greenland are melting far faster than anybody expected. If that melts, sea level rise will rise 20 feet. So cities are literally going to be underwater.
NASA scientist Josh Willis and his team have been conducting experiments for oceans melting Greenland since 2015.
The idea behind it is that we're using airplanes to fly around and try and answer the question, how much are the oceans melting away at the ice from the edges, as opposed to the air melting it from above?
The scientists at NASA are combining their research with virtual reality to create a more realistic experience for people who are unaware of the actual danger posed by climate change. Creating this type of 3D image takes a lot of equipment.
41 cameras, just like this one, hooked up to 14 different rigs, all filming the same thing at the same time. This is how virtual reality films are made.
These cameras allow audience members to virtually stand on and explore the ice caps and the inside of NASA's research planes.
I hope that people get a bit of a feel for just what an incredible place Greenland is. The work they've done, it's really like being in Greenland. And I hope people get a little bit of a taste of that from cruising around in this virtual world.
At a time when a large portion of Americans say they don't believe in climate change, these scientists hope to help people understand. In Culver City, I'm Shelby Charlene for Valley View News.
That's all I have today for social media. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Malcolm. When we come back, more women speak out against Roy Moore and Al Franken.
You love their music. Why would you steal it? When you illegally download your favorite band's music, they might just disappear. Downloading music without paying for it is just not cool.
Roy Moore's accuser, Lee Korfman, breaks her silence. Korfman claimed earlier this month that the GOP candidate, Moore, sexually abused her when she was 14.
Tried to get me to touch him as well. And at that point, I pulled back and said that I was not comfortable, and I got dressed, and he took me home.
8 other women came forward with sexual assault accusations against him. Moore denies the claims. Maine Senator Susan Collins says she doesn't believe him. She hopes that voters do not send him to Washington. The Washington Post reported that over 30 people claimed he pursued relationships with teenagers. President Donald Trump has not commented on these allegations. Moore says he will not drop out of the race.
A second woman is accusing Senator Al Franken of touching her inappropriately. Lindsay Mentz told CNN the Minnesota congressman grabbed her butt in 2010. She says the incident happened while the two were taking a picture at the Minnesota State Fair. Franken would have been 2 years into his first Senate term at the time of the alleged incident. This is the second allegation against Franken, but it's the first accusing him of misconduct while being a senator. He issued an apology to California radio news anchor Leanne Tweeden last week. In that incident, Franken posed for a photo mock groping Tweeden's breast while she slept. Franken says he will cooperate with the Senate Ethics Committee investigation if it happens.
Authorities are offering a $20,000 reward to solve the murder of a Texas Border Patrol agent last Sunday. Agent Rogelio Martinez and his partner were responding to activity in Big Bend National Park. Officials say Martinez was hit on the head with a blunt object, possibly a rock. He died from the injury, and his partner is in serious condition. President Donald Trump tweeted that he will seek justice. He also made comments about building the wall.
We talk about the wall. We're going to have the wall. It's part of what we're doing. We need it. It's rough territory. That's where the drugs are coming in. A lot of things are happening along the border, the southern border, and we're going to straighten it out.
The FBI is still investigating the incident.
Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders were discovered to be underrepresented in the media by a recent study. Valley View reporter Song Lee has more information.
A study shows that Asian American and Pacific Islander population is hugely underrepresented on TV. Researchers say that barely 1/3 of TV show characters have an AAPI background. Seasoned journalism professor Sally Turner says this isn't surprising, since the media's goal is to make profits.
So you often see the media falling back on stereotypes because that's what the audience understands in the easiest possible way.
Those stereotypes often represent Asians as math and science nerds, and when an individual doesn't fit into these stereotypical roles, they struggle. Seasoned Asian American Studies Chair and Professor Gina Marce-Casme says this is an example of the model minority.
It's just in general, so Asian Americans who don't do well in math, who don't do well in science, and they don't meet that stereotype, and they struggle because they're not getting the help they need.
But this population is also missing elsewhere. Last month, more than 100 Cambodian Americans across the U.S. have been detained. They now face deportations. However, this story is only picked up by a handful of news organizations. CSUN journalism professor Tae-Yun Kim says we need more diversity in the newsroom.
Journalists may feel approaching Asian American sources or Asian American community members as a kind of difficult thing to do because they themselves have never been experienced.
The media's job is to make profits and reflect our society. However, this reflection is missing the Asian population in the picture. In Northridge, I'm Sun Lee.
People marched to shed light on Puerto Rico's injustices in Washington last Sunday. The Unity March for Puerto Rico hopes to gain attention from the U.S. government. 2 Category 5 hurricanes left Puerto Ricans without clean water or power. Legislations were proposed after failed relief efforts for the island. Organizers want Puerto Rico exempt from the Jones Act, which will lower cost of importing and exporting goods. They also want more efforts in rebuilding the island and wiping their debt.
And now let's go to Alyssa Hoekstra, who's joining us with the latest in entertainment. Hey, Alyssa, what's going on?
Thanks, Jose. HBO's Lena Dunham apologized for defending a show writer accused of rape. Last week, actress Aurora Perez told the LAPD that she was raped by Murray Miller in 2012 when she was 17 years old. Miller was a writer for the show Girls. After Perez's complaint became public, Lena Dunham said she thought the claim was part of the 3% of assault cases that are misreported each year. Russell Simmons denied sexual misconduct charges launched by model Carrie Clausen-Kaligi. Kaligi says that in 1991, Simmons coerced her to perform oral sex on him. She also says he penetrated her without her consent. She was 17 at the time. She also says producer and director Brett Ratner was present for the alleged attack. Ratner has been accused of sexual harassment by multiple women. Simmons says everything that happened between Kaligi and him was consensual. Actress Tracee Ellis Ross hosted the American Music Awards last Sunday in Los Angeles. There were some surprise guests and a few tributes. Notable moments included Selena Gomez and Marshmello with their song Wolves. It was Gomez's first performance since her kidney transplant. Diana Ross received the Lifetime Achievement Award. Pink took her performance to new heights, literally, singing as she was suspended on the side of the JW Marriott Hotel. Korean pop boy band BTS is bringing back choreography, and probably the most emotional moment of the evening, Jamie Foxx and his daughter paying tribute to the nation's first responders.
2017 was a year that tested our faith. In these moments of crisis, heroes emerged. With us tonight are some of our first responders who ran towards the danger when it would have been so easy to run away. Please.
Fox says this year, more than any other, the nation needed the power of music to help escape the news of today. In the last episode of Saturday Night Live, the show addressed the sexual harassment allegations against Senator Al Franken of Minnesota.
Al Franken is being accused of sexual misconduct on a 2006 USO tour by Leanne Tweeden, who posted this photo of Franken apparently groping her breasts while she was asleep. Now, I know this photo looks bad, but remember, it also is bad. And sure, this was taken before Franken ran for public office, but it was also taken after he was a sophomore in high school. It's pretty hard to be like, oh, come on, he didn't know any better. He was only 55.
Senator Franken apologized last week after he was accused of groping radio newscaster Leanne Tweeden in 2006. That's all I have for entertainment today. Back to you.
Thank you, Alyssa. After the break, LeVar wants to play hardball with President Trump.
And Amber Partida updates us on which LA college football team reigns supreme.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I found them at work, on a desk, laying out in the open. Copied them, shared them on a website. Now I'm facing up to 3 years in jail. It's scary. Who knows where it's going? I mean, who's gonna hire me? Don't do it. It's not worth it.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
President Donald Trump is receiving backlash for controversial comments he made when responding to LeVar Ball. Ball told ESPN the president is making it seem like he helped secure the release of his son and 2 others for shoplifting in China. Trump responded by tweeting he should have left the 3 UCLA players in jail. He later tweeted that shoplifting is a big deal. He also said he would have bailed the 3 players out on his next trip to the country. LeVar appeared on CNN earlier this week and said the president didn't play a role in his son's release.
UCLA seems to be in the news lately. Didn't they play USC last weekend?
That's right, Maybelline. The Bruins put on an exciting performance against the USC Trojans last week. The Coliseum, home to the Trojans, was packed for the annual Battle of LA. The 2 teams started off strong, scoring one after the other in the first quarter. That was until USC quarterback Sam Darnold took matters into his own hands in the third, running the ball into the end zone.
Dives into the end zone for a touchdown.
But the Bruins quickly respond as QB Josh Rosen throws it to a wide-open Jordan Lasley for the touchdown, closing the deficit by 7. Into the fourth, the Trojans end up putting the Bruins to bed as Ronald Jones runs it in for the easy 2-yard touchdown. But the Bruins aren't giving up just yet. With less than 3 minutes left to go in the game, Rosen throws a 27-yard pass to Jordan Lasley. He scored all 3 touchdowns for UCLA. But it won't be enough for the Bruins. USC ends up defeating UCLA 28-23, improving their overall record at 9-2. The Trojans will enjoy their long break as they wait to see who they will play against for the Pac-12 championship. Unfortunately, it gets worse for UCLA. The Bruins dwindle their chances to play in a bowl game, and they lose head coach Jim Mora. The athletic director says Mora is relieved of his duties effective immediately. Mora coached the Bruins for 6 seasons. Over at the Staples Center, the Los Angeles Lakers getting ready to take on the Denver Nuggets for the first time this season. The Nuggets set the tone early against the Lakers. Denver's forward Paul Millsap with the assist to Gary Harris. Unfortunately, Millsap leaves the game in the second due to a left wrist sprain. Lakers' Julius Randle with the behind-the-back pass to Kyle Kuzma for the easy uncontested floater. The lead ended up changing 10 times in the first half of the game. That was until referee Rodney Mott tosses Denver head coach Mike Malone and their best player, Nikola Jokic, out of the game. Malone was livid because he thought Jokic was fouled by Kuzma from behind on the play beforehand. The Lakers then take advantage and never look back. Brook Lopez charges into the paint and dunks it in, assist by Brandon Ingram. Then it's off to the races as Jordan Clarkson throws the lob to Ingram for the slam. The Lakers defeat the Nuggets 127-109. Rookie Lonzo Ball captured his second triple-double of the season, finishing with 11 points, 16 rebounds, and 11 assists. The last time for a rookie to score his second triple-double in the league was LeBron James. The next game for the Lakers will be on Monday as they face the Clippers for another LA showdown. Last week was the final NASCAR race of the season at Homestead Miami Speedway. 4 drivers battled for a championship, while other drivers said goodbye. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the sport's most popular driver for 14 consecutive years, raced for the final time. Crew members showed their respect. Jr. drove at NASCAR's top level for 19 seasons and made more than 600 career starts. He finished 25th and afterwards gifted his helmet to longtime team owner Rick Hendrick. Danica Patrick is also retiring. The 35-year-old raced for 6 seasons. That makes her the longest tenured woman in the history of the sport. She announced her retirement last week, citing trouble finding sponsorship for next season. But Patrick was not able to finish the race. She crashed about halfway through after cutting a tire. As for the championship battle, it came down to Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch for the win and the title. Truex took the lead with 13 laps to go and held off Busch for his first career championship after 14 seasons. This capped off a record-setting year for Truex, who had a career-high 8 wins. Well, that's all the sports I have for you today. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Amber. The holiday travel season is here, This usually means longer wait times at security checkpoints at airports across the country. But this year, people flying out of LAX may find that's not the case. The airport has set up automated screening lanes in 3 terminals. The new system is already being used in some airports in Europe. LAX officials say it will help experienced travelers move at their own pace instead of waiting in long lines. They expect this holiday travel season to be another record-breaking one.
An organization hosted their annual community Thanksgiving dinner in Los Angeles. They also provide other services all year long for low-income students and families. Valley View News reporter Dalia Perez has more on the story.
The Breezy Foundation is a nonprofit organization that helps low-income families and students in the Los Angeles area. Breezy holds events throughout the year for families in the community. This Thanksgiving, Breezy held their annual community dinner. They partnered with Fox and Homeboy Industries. Fox served about 500 meals, but came prepared with 1,000. The center is located in Koreatown and holds these events to bring people together. Breezy Program Director Andy Rodriguez says this year feels different.
We've had the Trump era really affect our families with immigration, and so our families are definitely seeing more of a, or feeling more of a sense of fear. And so these types of events really bring people together.
They also provide educational programs for students. Ramiro Gomez says Breezy helps about 20 youth a day.
It's an after-school program. We have tutoring services, multimedia, photography.
For parents, Breezy provides food assistance, ESL, and computer literacy classes at no cost. Breezy continues to strive to empower youth and families in the community. The Breezy Foundation helps over 1,000 families throughout the year. Their services are available to everyone in the community who are low income. In Los Angeles, I am Dalia Perez reporting for Valley View News.
The Georgia Dome in Atlanta was imploded Monday morning. The stadium opened 25 years ago as a home of the NFL's Atlanta Falcons. It's still the only venue to host an Olympics, Super Bowl, and a Final Four. The Dome hosted more than 1,400 events and about 30 million guests. The implosion lasted about 15 seconds. Most of the building collapsed, but part of it remained upright. A spokesperson said the explosives either didn't go off or they weren't strong enough to knock those parts down. The space will be the site of a new hotel and green space. Part of it will also become a parking lot for the adjacent Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's already the new home of the Falcons. It opened at the beginning of this year's football season.
A video game emphasizing not to touch black women's hair has gone viral. The game Hair Nah was created by Momo Pixel, who says she designed the game after being tired of people touching her hair. It was released last Wednesday and has received lots of support. Gamers can create their own female character with the option of 12 hairstyles. Pixel hopes people realize how touching someone's hair is an invasion of privacy and personal space.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Jose Duran.
And I'm Maybelline Capilu.